So, the European playoff came to an end, and we know that Frenetic won it. He beat me, and then he beat Blaise in the finals. He's going to the World Championship, but it's not without any drama. Let's talk about it. Blaise basically rage quit at 2-2 in the series when he was 100% dead. I don't know what he did. He alt F4'd, he threw his PC out of the window. Whatever he did, he left the match and the community split on this one. A lot of people are saying that he's disrespecting his opponent. He's disrespecting the art that is playing the strategical card game that is Hearthstone. And his opponent, obviously. And a lot of people are taking Blaise's side and saying that they empathize with him. He's a high-level competitor that put a lot of effort into the tournament, and they just understand him. He had a very rough season. Basically, in the middle of the season, Blizzard took away 2 points because he had that no-show against his ex-teammate that looked a little bit suspicious. I think they investigated it. I don't know if they had hard proof because they only took away 2 points from him. In my opinion, it should have been like a more thorough investigation and either perma-ban him for win trading or just leave him alone if you don't have enough evidence. The in-between taking 2 points, I think, also took a mental toll on him. And he had a very rough season. I think he played fantastic. I think he brought really good decks that fit his playstyle. Again, a lot of his decks are kind of high rolly and they need to like get the right matchups, get the right draws, but that's basically a card game. So he's playing the card game very well. Now, let's discuss the emotional thing that takes place when you're like so close to the World Championship. I also have the experience of being very, very close and never making it to the World Championship, so I'm the perfect person to evaluate it. Also, I lost the same opponent basically like half an hour before Blaise did. So, let's discuss it. My worst loss of my entire career, of my entire life, was against Colento. Back in the day, let me tell you a story, Zoomers. Back in the day, in China, we had a very big tournament that it was very hard to qualify for. Basically, you had to qualify for a qualifier that had 100-something people, and only the top 4 out of those made it to a 16-player tournament where top 4 makes it to the World Championship. It was much harder to make it to the World Championship back then than it is right now from GM. It's probably harder right now if you're not the GM to make it to the World Championship because you first have to make it to GM. But right now, if you are a GM, every season you have a 1 in 16 to make it to Worlds. If you don't relegate. That's another story, but back in the day, you had a 4 in 100 and then a 4 in 16, so basically a 1 in 4. So it was way less likely that you made it back in the day. I was one of the 4 people that made it to China, beating very good friend Casey in my decider to make it there, and I think he was pretty devastated with that loss already. I had really good decks going into China, and I lost in my last match for Worlds against Colento after I was 2-0 up. I was 2-0, I got 3-2'd. I felt like complete garbage. I wanted to quit the game. I felt like my career is over. I felt like my life was over for like a little bit. I just didn't know what to do. I felt my mind was clouded. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know what to do. And after a lot of alcohol, good help from friends and a lot of discussions with a lot of people that were more experienced and smarter than me, I started to feel good again. And it still took like 1 year, 2 years to like feel normal, break even again about just like playing the game at a competitive level. And obviously after my stream getting a little bit bigger, I started to like not care that much when I had a big loss in Constructed because I wouldn't be jobless. I would still have something to rely on if Constructed doesn't work out, if Grandmaster doesn't work out, if competing doesn't work out. But for somebody like Blaise that is all in on competing, all he does all day, I'm assuming, is play the game and then like other stuff. But he's basically a full-time professional in Hearthstone, and that's his only source of income. And when you are like that, you just feel a lot of pressure and a lot of, I don't know, turmoil when you get so close and you don't make it. Like, it sucks. It definitely sucks. I can easily sit in this chair and say like, oh, I lost to Frenetic in like pretty rough spot. I was favored against him and I conceded and typed GG, so I don't understand what Blaise did. But at the same time, I'm doing that because I'm a streamer, for God's sake. Blaise is not, and for him the competition matters probably more than it does for me, even though I'm still competing because I freaking love it, and I would make more money if I would just like stream full time and not compete at all. It's tough with competition. Every single athlete, if I can say that about like Hearthstone players, behaves differently, and you see it outside of Hearthstone as well. You see it in tennis, you see it in football, you see it in American football. Yes, I'm not gonna call it soccer. Ha! What are you gonna do about that? There's different types of athletes. Some people can take defeat with grace, and some people are sore losers. But there's been fantastic sore losers, and there's been fantastic people that can take a loss. You see it in every sport. So what I'm asking is the community to like tone it down a little bit on Blythe and just celebrate Fnatic. That's about it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. See ya in the next one.